everybody, Tim here with another movie review, this time for Ant-Man and the Wasp. This is the next entry in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the follow-up to Ant-Man, which came out in 2015, and it once again stars Paul Rudd, Michael Douglas, Evangeline Lilly, Judy Greer, the cute daughter girl, Bobby Cannavale, lots of people in this movie, and newcomers Michelle Pfeiffer, Walton Goggins, and so like I said, this is the sequel to Ant-Man, but obviously it's the continuation of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and this was a nice breath of fresh air. Not that Infinity War wasn't amazing, because it was, but that is a heavy, intense movie in the MCU, and Ant-Man and the Wasp is a really fun, exciting, and just like good old MCU movie. I really, really enjoyed it. I wouldn't say that it's better than the first one, but I wouldn't say that it's worse than the first one either. I think they are right there, and that is a lot due to Paul Rudd's performance as Ant-Man and Evangeline Lilly as the Wasp, who in the past I really haven't liked all that much, Evangeline Lilly, but in this movie and in the first one, I actually liked her quite a bit. So Paul Rudd and Evangeline Lilly are both great. Michael Douglas also, like I said, returns as Dr. Hank Pym. He does a really great job in this movie. I think I actually liked him in this one more than in the first one. He just had a little bit more to do, because the story this time around is they're looking for the original Wasp. They're looking for Jeanette Van Dyne, Hope's mom, and obviously Hank's wife, who's been lost in the quantum realm for 30 years, and that's kind of the crux of the movie here. And Michelle Pfeiffer comes in as Jeanette Van Dyne, and she's barely in the movie, but she's really good in the movie when she is there. And Michael Douglas, like I said, does a really, really good job. He gives a good powerhouse performance in this one, because there's a lot of emotions going on with this story for him. Also returning, which I don't think I mentioned before, Michael Pena and the rest of the crew from the first one. They are all hilarious. Michael Pena, he does his thing. And they don't reuse the jokes from the first one all too much. I was a little worried that they were going to, just rehash all the things that made the first one so funny, and they don't. There are definitely callbacks, including one very specific scene which you'll know when you see it, but luckily it's hilarious, it's done very well, and it's not overdone at all. The action in this movie is also really good. It did drag on a bit too long towards the end, but all in all, the action was really, really fun, and the villain this time, Ghost, it was your pretty much generic Marvel villain. I thought there was a little bit more to Ghost than there was to Yellow Jacket, so overall that makes the villain this time around for Ant-Man and the Wasp a little bit better, but overall it is your pretty much generic MCU villain. There's also Lawrence Fishburne in this movie as an ex-colleague of Hank Pym, and he does a serviceable job. I mean, I probably could have seen any actor in that role, but Lawrence Fishburne's always good, and he does a good job in this movie as well. And Walton Goggins is another just like kind of disposable villain, but when he's on screen, I enjoyed him. I thought it was fun, and that's the word I would use to summarize this movie the most. Like I said at the top, it's a fun, exciting movie. It's not as heavy as Infinity War, but it's definitely still got that MCU flavor that I love to pieces, and so it's definitely a really good time at the movies, especially if you are an MCU fan. And then, without getting into spoilers, two post-credit scenes, both very good, very funny, good stuff. So anyway, guys, those are my thoughts on Ant-Man and the Wasp. I'll be doing a spoiler review at some point in the near future, so be on the lookout for that, where I talk about all the things spoilerific that I want to talk about. So be on the lookout. Anyway, guys, thanks as always for watching, and until next time, have a good one.